For people who don't know about the Great Universal Fire, there was a devastating disaster in Los Angeles on the Universal lot where a whole bunch of master tapes from hundreds, maybe thousands of artists over many decades were destroyed. And because you were signed to MCA back in the day, that was a Universal property. That would have been, or the fear was, some of your tapes were in that storage facility. Were they?
We don't know for certain. I read this article about the fire that had happened a few years earlier and how there had been a big cover-up and Universal received a huge insurance settlement, but never notified the artists involved.
And so the process kind of started there. It was a little bit kind of started by the New York Times mentioning the hip.
The next week, the New York Times ran a series of all the artists who they thought had lost material, and sandwiched between Mel Torme and the family Von Trapp was the Tragically Hip. And so that really kicked it into high gear.
It's been a really crazy process since that Universal fire. Almost 2 years in the making, trying to track this record down.
In any of these things, when you're looking for stuff, sometimes you got to do it the old-fashioned way. You pick up the phone and you phone somebody, and somebody will have an answer, and then you just start going down that road. And that's all it is. It's just, uncovering, the archaeological dig that we have.
Once we pulled the tapes, we were able to get back into Revolution, the studio in Toronto. And while Johnny was listening back reel after reel after reel, we went through the process of actually baking the tapes so that they can be stored properly. And we're actually archiving and discovering and digging all at the same time. So it's been a really good process. It's the only good thing to come out of that fire, as far as I'm concerned, is it has kind of inspired us to get our act together and look after that material.
We got a lot of stuff, and that's why we're doing this. It's like, it honors Gord because he was a big part of it, and he was there. It was the five of us, and it's kind of a shame not to sort of make it available out there. And so this was our first run at it, our first try at it, and the quest will continue, I think, and everyone's into it. Everyone's pretty enthusiastic and back, and we're out of our fog, and so it's like, okay, well, let's see what we can find.
Now, listening to this record, I had a really surprising and very strong and unexpected emotional reaction. So Ouch, which is the first track, comes on, and I'm immediately transported back to 91, 92, and there's Gord in his glory in front of me on a song I'd never heard before. And it honestly hit me really, really hard. I can't even imagine what it must have been like for you guys to hear these tapes for the first time, and Gord's back in the room.
Yeah, it was. It has been difficult on some levels. Enjoyable to hear songs that were so dear to us 30 years ago, and 30 years go by and you haven't heard them. But as you say, it's like Gord is in the room, and sometimes there's between song chatter. It's hard, to hear Gord in the room then and be transported back like that.
It's just like you said, it immediately I was back in the room at Kingsway, and yes, there was an emotional reaction to it, because it was like, here we are. I totally remember all this, and so it was pretty inspiring. It really was. Like, I couldn't believe it.
Let's finish with this question. The Hip, live at the Junos, featuring Feist. How did that come about?
I think there's been a real resistance amongst all of us to delve back in and open that door.
After our last show in Kingston, we just slowly started, coming out of the fog and started communicating, which is the big thing, and thinking about, how do we continue to honor Gord?
We were asked, it was proposed to us that we play, that it's the 50th anniversary of the Junos, and that it would be, receiving an incredible honor, that maybe it would be a good thing to play. And also this time that everyone is going through, with the loss of live music and live venues in danger, and so many musicians and people across the board hurting. It just seemed like if there was a time when we were going to entertain the idea that this is probably it, a bunch of people were suggested who we might have sing with us. And it wasn't until Feist was suggested and everyone kind of sort of sat up and said, oh, that actually kind of makes sense. That works for me. Everyone had that same response.
Hey, listen, Nirvana did it with Lord, St. Vincent, Kim Gordon, and Joan Jett when they were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I thought that was a brilliant move, having a woman step up front. You guys are doing the same thing, and I also think it's brilliant.
Yeah, I know what it'd make Gord smile for sure. That was we all instantly thought that Gord would approve of this.
Good to see you guys again. Hopefully run into you soon. And listen, I'm not kidding when I say that I had a really weird emotional reaction to this record. And I don't know if it surprised me. So when this does come out, you're going to freak out a whole bunch of people, probably most of the nation.
I hope in a good way.
Yeah, I hope so too. Thanks for your time, Alan.
Thank you, Alan.
You
Great
too.
talking again.
Yeah.
See you soon. Bye now.